The place to be is downtown Dallas on this Thursday morning as we welcome you to Mavs Live, the championship celebration presented by AT&T, and many of these people began lining up when it was still dark this morning. 5:30, and 6 o'clock, the fans began to congregate in Dallas along a 1 mile and 1/4 parade route that is headed toward the American Airlines Center. All of these people here to celebrate the 2011 NBA champions. Hi there, and welcome to it. John Radigan with Basketball Hall of Famer Nancy Lieberman. Nancy is, of course, also the head coach of the Texas Legends, the Mavs Developmental League team. And Nancy, this day was 31 years in the making, or maybe better said, the Mavericks earned it. They didn't make this day, they earned it this year.
Well, they earned it because we found out that teamwork trumps talent on many levels. Although the Mavs had tremendous talent, to me, I look back over the last 11 years where we won 50-plus games for 11 consecutive years, and everybody said, but you get eliminated. You know what? Sometimes you have to have a solid foundation for success, trust, belief, and everybody working cooperatively, and this is exactly what the Mavericks are, and that's why they're champions.
And what a great way to say it. A foundation has been laid by a championship team, and of course everybody in the Mavericks organization hopes that they can build upon that foundation. We've got this parade covered from start to finish, high and low, and all the way here to the American Airlines Center. Let's head out to the start of the parade route first, where Roe Parrish is standing by.
Thanks, John. I'm right here at the corner of Young and Griffin. I have a big group of Mavs fans. Mavs fans! They come all over from Pleasant Grove, Garland, Wiley, and even from New Hampshire. And we're going to be letting you know what's going on right here at the corner, right by the convention center. But Earl K. Sneed, where are you?
Hey, Ro, man, I'm here on the corner of Young and Houston. I've got some rowdy, proud, and loud fans. I've got my homegirl, Michaela, here, who came all the way from Waxahachie. My homeboy, Josh, who came from San Antonio. Some of these folks have been here since 6 a.m. These guys just want to see their world champion Dallas Mavericks as they pass. I'm going to throw it back to you, John and Nancy.
All right, thank you very much. We appreciate it, guys, and we know you'll be working hard out there chatting with some of the Mavericks as they roll by on their floats when the parade begins. And, of course, as we mentioned, it's a 1 mile and 1/4 route through the streets of Dallas that starts at the Dallas Convention Center and works its way down to the American Airlines Center. There will be a VIP season ticket holder rally inside the AAC at the conclusion of the parade, and that's where we find our Mavericks veteran reporter and anchor Dana Larson standing by. Dana.
John, thank you. I am thrilled to be here for this today, and I am inside, downstairs on the event level at the American Airlines Center, just outside the Mavericks offices in the locker room. This is where the players and the coaches and Mavs personnel will be gathering in between the parade and the rally. They'll be cooling off, they'll be fueling up for the rest of the party, and they'll be making their way over here so we can talk to them and get their reaction, their first reaction to this unbelievable celebration today. So we're very excited to speak to them coming up in just a little bit. And also inside with me here is Emily Jones, and we toss it over to her now for more from her vantage point. Em?
Well, Dana, I am among the lucky ones here at the American Airlines Center. These are the family, friends, employees of the Dallas Mavericks, VIP season ticket holders that have gathered here to watch our coverage of the parade here on Fox Sports Southwest. They'll also be sticking around for the rally, and the players will take the stage. As you can see, a chair for each one of them. The television play-by-play voice of the Mavericks, Mark Followell, will be the MC for the event. Chuck Cooperstein will be conducting the interviews, and it should be a great atmosphere, a great event. These guys got fired up actually a little bit earlier by watching some of those NBA Finals games, and they were cheering when things happened as if they were happening live. So this crowd obviously very excited for all that's going to take place today, and we are excited to be here along for the ride. And right now, John, we'll send it back out to you and Nancy.
All right, Emily, thank you very much. No doubt about it. We are all excited to be here, and it's a full day of coverage that we have planned for you. And in fact, we'll be here from this beginning of the parade, which has just gotten underway, all the way through the end of the rally. We'll wrap it up maybe sometime around 2 o'clock, and we'll use various platforms of Fox Sports throughout the course of the day. For the first 2 hours, you'll see us right here on Fox Sports Southwest. At noon, we will have Rangers and Yankees on Fox Sports Southwest, and this coverage will move to Fox 4 in Dallas and Fox Sports Plus throughout the rest of our viewing areas. So make sure that you stay tuned to this great coverage of this awesome celebration throughout the course of the morning. We've got Dana Larson now standing by to tell you more about what's happening along the parade route. Dana joins us again from the AAC.
Well, what a great view you have there of course, all of the crowd, and now one of the lead cars, and certainly deservedly so. There is Donald Carter leading the way. He is, of course, one of the founders of the Dallas Mavericks, bringing this team here, and the legends are following behind as well. He and his wife were alongside, and now we'll bring, of course, great Mavericks legends behind. That appeared to be Brad Davis and his family as this thing gets going with all of the fans alongside the parade route. And they've been here for hours, as John was telling you, so excited to just even get a glimpse of who would be making their way down. And just moments ago, this parade did get off to a start, as you saw there, and one by one, they will be making their way down in, of course, different cars. And also the Mavericks will be back in trucks a little bit later on. And it is a little warm out there, but that's okay. Nobody cares, of course. The weather here for this celebration, 94 degrees. Not too bad at all, because sunny and, triple-digit temperatures.
I just don't know if that's the
just
program
fine.
monitor.
Nobody minds that whatsoever in this case. And Emily Jones has joined me now, as well as we take a look at what's going on outside as they're getting things going. And Emily, it's hot, but who cares, right? They love this.
What the weather was going to be like today, they were not going to miss this celebration. As John mentioned, 31 years in the making. And when you look at the way that this season unfolded, coming into the season, and Tyson Chandler was signed, and it was kind of with very little fanfare that they made that acquisition. There was the Marcin Gortat possibility coming in. Everyone disappointed when he didn't make the team. And so for this team to come together the way that it did and overcome the adversity that it did, they attributed that adversity to a lot of their success.
I love the point that you bring up about certain moves at the beginning of the year that came along with little fanfare. And here we finished the season with the greatest amount of fanfare possible in any way. And that all certainly goes back to, of course, the team aspect of this championship team. Roe, who is down along the parade route, has a special guest. Let's kick it back to him now.
Yes, right. I'm here at the corner of Griffin and Young, and I have some very special Mavs fans. We have one all the way from New Hampshire, and we have one from Dallas, and they've made friends. Isn't that right?
That's right. That's right. This is Bob right here. We make friends all over, United Universe.
So how are you feeling about the parade today? Who are you looking forward to seeing?
I'm looking forward to seeing all the players. They all champions to me. It doesn't matter.
Of course they are. Now, you came all the way from New Hampshire. What made you want to come down and see the Mavs celebration parade?
Because in God's eyes, it don't matter who wins, because he says, if you love me, love one another as I have loved you.
That's right. And of course, we all love each other. Like I said, there's fans. And of course, if I could get the cameraman just to go up, they have people in a parking garage, 5 stories high. There are people all over from far and wide. They come to see the Mavs championship parade, because you know what? All we do is win, baby.
All right. How about them Mavs? All right, Mavs number one. Mavs number one. All right.
Of this whole parade route throughout the Victory Plaza here at the American Airlines Center. And what a great day, what a great way, Nancy Lieberman, to celebrate this championship team. I love that Mr. Carter was not only one of the first floats, one of the first cars we saw come by, but the way that Mark Cuban helped to honor the founder of this franchise, Donald Carter, by allowing him to receive the trophy from David Stern after the championship, that was great.
I think people forget that Mark Cuban has a lot of history and tradition within him. Even though he's a young owner and he's passionate about this game, he's very keenly aware that Mr. Carter brought this franchise here with Norm Sanju in 1980-81. But this championship, John, bridges generations, young Maverick fans and older Maverick fans who are relishing this moment.
Yeah, there's no doubt, and they all should. The crowd that's gathered here at the American Airlines Center, it spans the generations as you see Terdema Ussery going by, and Jamie Foxx, the movie star and comedian, with Terdema Ussery on the float. You're a mover and a shaker, Nancy. I'm surprised you're not with those boys.
No, you know what? I've known Terdema since he was the commissioner of the CBA back in the early 90s, and this guy is one brilliant businessman.
And look at there, the Mavs Maniacs and the dancers, one of the best dance troupes in all of basketball, are here as well. Live coverage continues in a moment. Mavs Live Championship Celebration presented by AT&T is brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible. And welcome back to Mavs Live, a championship celebration brought to you by AT&T. John Radigan with Basketball Hall of Famer Nancy Lieberman here, and we are having what a day. Beautiful weather in downtown Dallas. Yeah, it's a little warm, but that's the way it's supposed to be in the summer, and you only get summertime celebrations like this when your teams are successful. The Dallas Mavericks, for the first time in their history, Nancy, are champions of the NBA. What a great day.
And how they did it. You know what? Anytime you can have a hot summer day party with all 250, 300,000 of your closest friends, you know the city and the team's done something right, and we get to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's fun to be a part of it, and there are so many that are a part of this thing, including Budweiser, who have dispatched the Clydesdales to be here today. What a great sight that is. The big Budweiser beer wagon with the Clydesdale pulling it in tow, and there are Mavs fans and Mavs supporters on that, as well as all throughout this mile-and-a-quarter street. The Budweiser Clydesdales are introduced to the public back in 1933, and they were there to celebrate the repeal of Prohibition. That's why that cart was full of beer when they first carried it. They hitched and carried the first post-Prohibition case of beer from a St. Louis brewery and out to the people, the waiting public. And since then, they have become iconic and a symbol in many ways, Nancy, of Budweiser.
Well, they're beautiful, and I'm surprised back in the time of Prohibition, they didn't get Clydesdale jacked for the beer, the beer that was on there.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if there's any live ones on that thing, but I guarantee you there's a lot of people in the crowd who could use any cold and frosty beverage at this point, as they all line the streets of Dallas, and they've been here since early this morning, since before it was light, to get ready to watch these Dallas Mavericks come through here. They're about to make their way through this wonderful throng of fans, and it was amazing from our vantage point just outside the American Airlines Center. We saw all kinds of fans waiting, and this is 5:30 this morning. When we recorded the fans. These fans have been waiting here since then, and just in front of where our platform is where the players drive into the parking garage under the American Airlines Center. So as each car went by, they got cheers and tons of adulation from this crowd that's waiting. Now the players will be able to hear it a little better, and they'll see those fans.
I have to tell you that when the players came through, I promise you they got goosebumps on their arm to see the crowd for them.
And there are the Carters. It's great to see Don Carter, and we talked a lot about him in the last segment, but Linda Jo Carter, Don has said very recently that he believes that Mark Cuban is the only basketball fan in the world that approximates the fanaticism of Linda Jo. She's the reason Don Carter bought this team or founded this team way back when.
Well, her influence cannot be understated, but again, let's go back to the respect. He's always kept his seats courtside. He's always been a fabric of the Mavericks organization, and he's beloved in this town.
He is, and that was just a wonderful moment that we talked about earlier. David Stern presenting the trophy to Mr. C, and I guarantee you, Nancy Lieberman, he's got tears in his eyes as he grabs that NBA championship trophy. Donald Carter's still a 4% owner of this team.
Well, he should be an owner, but I know personally that David Stern was thrilled to be able to hand that over to his friend, his buddy for so many years. And again, Mark Cuban, he has a heart of gold, and to do what he did just shows the class act of him.
Yeah, Donald Carter with Linda Jo and a grandson there as the parade is underway through the streets of Dallas. The Dallas Mavericks are making their way from the Convention Center to the American Airlines Center, where they will have a huge rally for season ticket holders and for VIPs to celebrate the first ever championship team in the Mavericks history. What a great day this is.
How about to be able to pull this type of production off in such a short amount of time? The collaboration of the Mavs organization, the city, the police, the fire marshals, all of us to be a part of this.
And they had to be so careful because we remember 5 years ago there was a little too much planning a little too early after the Mavericks took a 2-0 lead against the Miami Heat back in 2006. Everybody was so cautious not to do any pre-planning this year. You don't want to count your chickens before they're hatched. Nobody did. So this thing truly did come together since Sunday night when we watched the Mavs beat the Heat.
You're absolutely true. You're dealing with a very tricky balance of planning and preparation, but not being overly assumptive. And I think the city and the Mavericks handled it perfectly.
They did a great job, and we're going to send you back down to the parade row.
That's right.
Where Ro Paris is standing by. Ro.
I have the Mayor Caraway. How does it feel to be a part of the Dallas Mavericks celebration?
Well, when you look at this magnificent city and our magnificent champions, we are the champions, and it is just great. It is the greatest thing that could be taking place right now here in the city of Dallas. The world is looking at our city because of our championship team, our championship spirit. And that's the greatest thing that could be taking place here, is having a fantastic celebration.
Now, isn't this the best way to bring in being in office?
Oh, this is the greatest way. It's one of the greatest things that can happen. Maybe it's perfect karma, but that's where we are.
Well, there you have it. That's Mayor Caraway, and we're going to keep it moving. Back to you. We got plenty of things coming on the line, though.
Great job, Ro. Thank you very much. And yeah, what a way. I thought it was very well said by Mayor Caraway. The world is watching. And look, Dallas looks awfully good to the world right now.
Well, they do, because it's a very friendly team, likable team. People enjoy the teamwork and how they handled themselves. But for me, the big question was, did the mayor get that swag Mavericks gear, or did he go to the team shop? I need to know this.
I bet he went to the team shop and got it the old-fashioned way, and the Mavericks are continuing to celebrate this great day and this wonderful championship, and they're well-deserving of the adulation that they are receiving from perhaps as many as 250,000 fans that line the parade route. Hey, get all your authentic 2011 Dallas Maverick NBA Championship gear at the Fan Shop, located at the American Airlines Center and at the Ultimate Fan Shop in North Park Center, or go to mavgear.com. I'm certain that that's what Mayor Caraway did, as he also makes his way here to the American Airlines Center. A full day of coverage here, including aerial footage, which we are providing from Fox 4, and we're here until the end of the rally, which should be sometime after 1:30 this afternoon. It's a celebration of the 2011 NBA champions. It's the Dallas Mavericks. They're almost at the AAC. We're back with more after this. Mavs Live, the championship celebration presented by AT&T continues now from Victory Plaza, just outside the American Airlines Center. John Radigan and Nancy Lieberman here, and take a look at this float. The Mavericks announcers, and you got to look at Mark Followell and Chuck Cooperstein, and the coach, Bob Ortigal, is there. Skin is there, and so many people as we check in now with Earl K. Sneed of Mavs.com.
I appreciate it, John. I'm down here on the corner of Young and Houston. These Mavs fans are crazy. I just dapped up Mavs man, and I've got two very loud, proud, and loud fans here. I've got Tim and Sarah from Plano. First of all, Tim, what does it feel like to be a part of history now? 31 years the Mavs have been in Dallas, but you've never seen a championship parade like this before.
Oh man, it's been amazing. Like, I've been watching the Mavs since I was like 5. I mean, it's been great to go to the games, go to AAC and cheer for them. I'm so happy to see like Dirk and like Kid and Terry finally get a championship. It's been awesome.
Yeah, and I talked to Sarah about this. Game 6, she was hyperventilating when the clock started counting down to the buzzer, and she knew the Mavs were champions. Just talk about that experience.
I don't know, I just can't put it into words. It was just so amazing. The whole place was just going crazy, and everyone's crying and screaming. And, oh my gosh, that was so good.
She still can't contain her excitement. The parade is making their way past us. We just saw Clydesdales. We just saw the great Roe Parrish. Now I'm going to throw it back to you, John and Nancy.
All right, very good, Earl K. Thank you very much. And we're going to get right to Roe, who's out on the route. Roe, go ahead.
And the Mavs Maniacs. Yes, and as we come to the owner, the man, the myth, the legend, Cube. How does it feel, brother?
Amazing, tremendous. Chanting our names, people all the way up there is phenomenal. Unbelievable.
So what's the next step? Everybody's talking about the rings. We know they're going to get the rings. Can we announce what we're going to get?
But now I'm not going to announce it yet, but stay tuned. We're going to have fun.
Mark, you have anticipated this moment your whole life with the Mavericks. What is it like for life?
Better, tremendous, better than I could possibly imagine. I mean, phenomenal. Everybody coming out like this.
All right, that is the team owner, Mark Cuban, and I think that's well said. It's better than you could have even expected to see this many people on a beautiful day in downtown Dallas celebrating his team, our team, the Dallas Mavericks.
It has to be phenomenal for him. Once you get through winning the championship, flying back on the plane, kind of celebrating, and then to see this type of support and pride in this city, it just has to hit his emotions pretty deep.
I love to see the fans out there. Earl K. Sneed with that one young fan. He's about 15. He says, I've been watching the Mavs since I was 5. I'm thinking, I think I've had these shoes since you were 5 then.
Yeah, but who has bridged the bigger gap to Europe and to Asia than Donnie Nelson? I mean, he has done such a great job with this organization. We are an international professional basketball team.
And there you see the parade continuing with floats and lots of Mavericks celebration going on. Check it out. J.J. Barea. And looks like we've got somebody with a Fox microphone right up on the stage there.
I think that's Sean Marion right there. And I want to see his mother dancing. I want to see Mama Matrix.
There's JJ. You see the numbers for him, and what a playoff run JJ Barea had, Nancy. Became a starter in the last 3 games of the finals, and perhaps that was the pin that pushed this thing over the top.
Confidence comes when you know that your coach believes in you. When Rick Carlisle got here, he loved JJ Barea because he knew he had something that no other Maverick had with that speed and quickness. He is a real hoops hero.
Let's see if we can get to Roe, who's standing with JJ. Roe, go ahead.
Hey, JJ, we're going to look back this way, and we're going to talk. So this is your first parade. Is this going to be as big as the one that's going to be in Puerto Rico? Huh? We don't have enough people in Puerto Rico to do this. This is amazing. Matrix, how you feeling your first parade?
Man, look, y'all just say it. Look at it. Look at this. Wow. This is what it's about. Man, inside man was at the road.
I got to figure a way to get off this truck.
I got my own mic. What you talking about?
Oh, you have the mic? I got a mic too. Back to you.
All right, Roe, thank you very much. Great access as Roe Parrish is working it and just hopping up onto the floats with the players. You saw the broadcasters again, and lots of fun being had. We saw, in fact, we got to see Matrix's mom dancing a little bit there.
Every time I see her on the jumbo screen at the AAC, I go, that is Mama Matrix, and she always has a fun time seeing her son play.
Today's NBA championship celebration driven by Ford. Ford dealers, the Ford is the best in Texas, in part by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Mavericks. By Budweiser, who would like to congratulate the 2011 NBA champion Dallas Mavericks. There's nothing like the first one. By Plains Capital Bank, proud to be a sponsor of the Dallas Mavericks and congratulates them on their first NBA title. Plains Capital Bank is the official bank of the Dallas Mavericks. And by Disney and Pixar's Cars 2. It races into theaters on June the 24th in 3D and IMAX 3D. And it's John Radigan and Nancy Lieberman back at the American Airlines Center just outside. We are in Victory Plaza, and there is no bigger victory than the one we are celebrating here today. The victory of all of their games, the victory in the NBA Finals. The Dallas Mavericks win it in 6 games over the Miami Heat, and the Mavericks are getting their due today. They may not have gotten it, Nancy, throughout the course of the playoffs. Throughout the course of the finals, there was lots of talk of how Miami was losing the series, not that Dallas was winning it. Dallas won it. They get their due today.
I think you're right, because in all the interviews that I did about the Mavericks, everybody talked about, well, LeBron didn't play well, or Spoelstra didn't have a good coaching series. And it was never really about the Mavericks being the team, or them playing well. And you know what? They were the better team, they had the better players, and they had the better coaches.
You saw another shot of Jamie Foxx, and there he is! Ladies and gentlemen, Dirk Nowitzki. Jason Kidd on there too. Jet Terry, what a float. You talk about star power, even here in Victory Plaza when that scene hit the screen. We got a huge ovation from this sellout crowd here in Victory Plaza. They are making their way here. I see that Roe has made his way onto that float. We'll try to hear from him with those men in just a minute. Mavs Maniacs are there too.
Hey, who knew that Roe was that agile?
No kidding.
That athletic.
How about Roe hopping up there? He is working his way in, and here we go. Let's check in with Roe Parrish.
Yeah, I'm right here. I have Jason Kidd with me right now. Can you see me? Can you see me?
Yeah, go ahead, Roe. We got you.
Okay, I'm right here with Jason Kidd. A lot of time has passed in your career. How are you feeling right now going through parade?
Oh, this is goosebumps. This is a dream come true. Whenever we win something, you never picture it like this. And we got the best fans, as you can see, coming out supporting us. But they went with the journey with us, so we're happy that everybody's out here having a good time.
Well, hey, stay hydrated. I'm going to jump off and you continue to have fun.
All right, you say cool too. Make sure you get some water.
Yes, sir.
There you go, Roe. Did you see that? That's Roe leaping off there, Nancy. You could coach him in the D-League.
I have to tell you, to me, the series was not only about Dirk's MVP Hall of Fame performance, but he's like Oprah. He's got stuff to say, and he's had a chance to say it and get the national respect he deserves.
2011 and 2012 season tickets are on sale now. Tickets can be purchased online at Mavs.com or by calling 214-747-MAVS. Be there, rowdy, proud, and loud. And speaking of rowdy, proud, and loud, look at the scene inside the American Airlines Center where the season ticket holders are waiting for the team to arrive. There will be a 90-minute rally after the parade ends. Right now, the parade is making its way through the streets of Dallas, and ultimately, it'll be right here at the American Airlines Center where we will continue to celebrate into the afternoon this Dallas Mavericks 2011 NBA championship. John Radigan and Nancy Lieberman here, and we've got Emily Jones standing by inside the AAC.
Well, Dana and I both are inside the American Airlines Center, and John, every time they pop up a shot of you guys on the plaza, it's neat to see the crowd respond. They're doing the same thing here at the American Airlines Center, and it's been fun for us to watch this team develop. Dana, hasn't it, over the course of the year, and really everyone's getting a chance to see what we fell in love with about this team and what great guys they are, and really everyone adopted this team as their own through this playoff run.
Oh, that's exactly right. It's been fun to get to know the new guys, and there were plenty of new players along the way. We just saw Tyson Chandler and his family, and he certainly has been one of the players that has been identified as a game changer in this season. One of the very big reasons that this team won a championship, and just getting to see everybody on the floor. I'm sorry, that shot of Dirk Nowitzki was too good to be true. His arms spread, his wingspan was as long as the float there, and the look on his face was absolutely priceless. He's been waiting for this moment for year upon year upon year, and it's a big deal to him. He also grasps the reality of the fact that these fans have been waiting for it even longer than he has, and he says it's just as much their championship as it is mine.
Well, and too, his free agency period over the summer met with very little fanfare. He didn't have a television special to announce his decision that he'd be coming back to the Dallas Mavericks. Took a hometown discount, gave Mark Cuban a little break on the salary cap so they could bring in some more pieces, because this was the ultimate goal for this team. And it really just speaks to the character that Dirk Nowitzki has. It speaks to his desire to win a championship. And he talked about it in the exit interviews yesterday. He said, look, individual honors are great, but those are only going to get you so far. And in this game, all that matters is a championship. And at this point, that's all I've wanted to do, is win a championship. John, Nancy, head back outside to you.
All right, thank you very much. Emily and Dana will be checking back in with you throughout the course of the day. Rick Carlisle's in the parade too. We'll see him in a moment. We're celebrating with the Mavs. We'll be right back. Mavs Live Championship Celebration presented by AT&T is brought to you in part by your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the Ford F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Carter Blood Care. Donate often. Be a part of something great. And welcome back to Mavs Live, the championship celebration presented by AT&T. John Radigan with Basketball Hall of Famer Nancy Lieberman here, and about 250,000 of our closest friends. I see they have basically stopped people from being able to enter Victory Plaza because there are so many people gathered here behind us.
Yeah, I would safely say that we're at full capacity right here, and I knew it was going to be exciting, but until you're here and you're in the mix and you feel the energy and the excitement, there's nothing like being a part of this, and obviously not many teams get a chance to do this. And I want to go back to Tyson Chandler for a minute. He really changed everything, I feel, defensively. Everybody talked about the resurgence of the defense. Doc Rivers once said the Boston Celtic defense was good until they got Kevin Garnett. They became great. The Mavs became great when they got Tyson Chandler, because he erases your mistakes on the perimeter.
Yeah, Tyson Chandler has been unbelievable. He was hurt for a couple of years, so the girls, Dana and Emily talked about it a little earlier, just one of those sort of blip on the radar moves that was made last year, and they got Tyson Chandler in a trade basically with the Eric Dampier chip, and you're like, oh well, we'll see what this turns into. Well, it turned into not only a guy who is so good, as you mentioned, in doing what he does on the court, but he was a presence in the locker room, and immediately he became a leader of this team, Nance.
Well, that's the thing. It helps somebody like Rick Carlisle when you have a guy like that in your locker room, and you can see his field goal percentage. I bet you he's going to buy Jay Kidd a watch.
Yeah. Yeah, and let's check back in with Dana as we look at one of the biggest Larry O'Brien trophies I've ever seen. Dana back in the AAC.
Yeah, that one might be as big as Tyson Chandler. You were just mentioning Tyson's role as an enforcer. He was all about emotion, obviously, but Rick Carlisle said it wasn't just that enthusiasm he played with, it was the accountability he brought to this locker room. They needed someone in that room that would help police the other players. And Tyson Chandler, though new to this team this year, came right in and was able to take over that role and make sure there was a sense of accountability. And he said they all did it with their hearts in the right place, obviously, but they knew they were all going to be held to a high standard. Tyson Chandler was a big reason for that.
Yeah, Dana, thank you very much. There's no doubt, and this thing is a classic team as we go back into Emily Jones, part of our team.
Well, Larry O'Brien trophies popping up everywhere, literally everywhere. This one on the arm of Steven Trevera. He is a Mavs.com employee. Took the Mavs championship to a whole new level, didn't you?
Yeah, I always said if they ever did it, I would get it.
Inspired by Jason Terry at all?
No, actually, I thought about it a couple years back, but I'm not going to talk about 06.
Okay, all right. We won't talk about 06. How painful was it?
It's still red. It's still red.
I can see.
It's fresh.
It is fresh. So what happens if they win another one?
Maybe ×2, I don't know.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Steven Trevera tattooing the Larry O'Brien trophy on his arm. That is a dedicated fan.
Emily, thanks very much, and I might suggest Steven's got 2 arms, Nance. You go in the other arm.
You know, I'm really starting to think that Jason Terry started a trend here, but that trophy looks like it hurt when ink went on his arm.
Yeah, and I did like the little Mavs touch that they had on that one. The basketball on that particular version of the Larry O'Brien trophy had a pretty nice Mavericks tie to it. And look at the crowd. Just every corner, every space along this parade route is completely filled 10, 15 deep with fans who are here just to get a glimpse of the conquering heroes, the 2011 NBA champions, the Dallas Mavericks. The umbrellas obviously here for the real purpose for umbrellas in the state of Texas, to keep the sun off people.
You know, John, when I see cars like that, police cars with the lights flashing, usually they're asking me to pull over and show my ID and bring my license, and these guys are getting the ultimate escort.
Yeah, what a great day it is, and you see the maniacs and the dancers using the little space they have on their float to keep everybody entertained along the parade route. Mavs Man and Champ are available to make appearances at your school to motivate students with programs specializing in health and fitness and to help your students tackle the tax test. They are sure to entertain as well. Call 214-747-MAVS for more information about those guys making an appearance at your school. Not the Clydesdales, but the horse in front of them. That is Champ. Another part of the parade, another part of a great celebration that will last into the early afternoon here. The Dallas Mavericks celebrating a 31-year quest to be reigning kings of the NBA.
You know, we're talking about mascots and we're talking about all the different elements, but isn't that what NBA basketball and Mavs basketball is about? It's a great family environment. There's a lot of enthusiasm. There's great championship players. There's just so much energy in the AAC night after night, and that's why all these people are here.
Yeah, and of course the Mavs have a consecutive sellout string that's just unbelievable, and now are compared to, and we saw it in all the coverage, their numbers are compared, their ratings are compared, their record is compared to the other teams that have won championships here. That, of course, being the Dallas Stars, who were the Stanley Cup champions back in '99 and had a parade, and the Cowboys, who have won 5 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowl parades in the '90s, and I don't know that any of those drew any more fans than what the Mavericks have done here on this beautiful summer day in June.
You know, the Mavs fans, like we talked about earlier, there's certainly people that were here from the beginning, but there's a really young generation of Maverick fans that are going to grow up and continue to pass this on forward. And when you have young people, you got energy and you have excitement.
One of our young reporters on the scene is Earl K. Sneed, who's out on the parade route. Earl K.
Hey, John, I appreciate it, man. I'm joined by Justin and Wendy, 2 diehard Dirk fans. When Dirk came by, they had a nice MVP chant going for him, and then he doused me with water, so I'm soaking wet right now. But just talk about what it means for you as a fan to see Dirk bring a championship to Dallas after 13 long years.
Being a lifelong fan, my father's a fan. We had seats to Game 1 of 2006 NBA Finals, so we've been living that for 5 years at least. That one. And, you know, it's just been a long drought, and it's just great for Dirk, you know, the city, and, you know, worldwide. I mean, it brings a lot of you know, people from Germany, you know, are all excited. I mean, it's great for everyone.
And Dirk wasn't by himself on that. He had Jason Terry on that float. He also had Jason Kidd. To see those two guys after everything they've been through, you know, Jay Kidd's been to the finals twice. Jet had the 06 memories. To see those two guys get a championship alongside Dirk, how special was that as a fan to watch?
You know, much respect for the whole team. For the whole team to be able to look at Dirk and support him and being the MVP and not get all focused on me, and work as a team, and that's what brought the championship home. And we're so proud of the Mavericks. Go Mavericks!
All right, these fans are still running proud and loud. It's kind of clearing out over here, but it's still going to be just as crazy as the AAC. Back to you, John.
All right, Earl K. Snead, thank you very much. Good job. And we saw Linda Jo Carter leading some cheers along the parade route there. Maybe the only person that wants this more than the Carters, Jason Kidd, who, as they mentioned, had been to 2 previous finals with the New Jersey Nets, an original draft pick way back in '94 by the Mavericks Nets. He finally has his championship.
How many players get a chance to start somewhere, leave, gain valuable experience, and then come back and make it applicable? They talk about no Jay, because that early in his career he was a great athlete, great passer, and now who would have thought he'd be the 3rd all-time leading 3-point shooter in NBA history? It just shows you his work ethic, his focus, and his willingness to get better each year.
All right, well, let's check back in with Emily Jones and Dana Larson inside the American Airlines Center with more on Jay Kidd.
Well, yes, it's been interesting to hear some things Rick Carlisle has said about Jason Kidd in the wake of this championship. After they won, Emily, the other night, he was saying he's learned so much from Jason Kidd. He said Kidd's DNA is all over this thing, and you don't hear head coaches give that kind of credit to players very often.
Well, and what Jason Kidd does is he makes everyone on the floor better. He makes everyone on the floor smarter. He makes everyone want to be better. And when you do that as a player, I think coaches take notice. And Rick Carlisle is a very smart man. And Tyson Chandler also said something interesting about Rick Carlisle, about how Rick's sneaky, and he makes you think that things are your idea when really he's just conveying his message, but he's letting you know that, or he's making you think that you came up with the idea. And so he's sneaky in that regard. And I think Jason Kidd is a lot the same way. He sets people up to be their best, and I think he does it in a way where they gain confidence, and it really is contagious, and it's been that way among this team.
Jason Kidd has not wanted to say he was retiring anytime soon. He says he's got plenty of good years left in him. Everybody has confirmed that as well, and then you put his name here, Rick Carlisle's name, up with some of the best all-time NBA coaches. He may want to put a lot of the credit and praise on his players, but certainly, as we've talked about a whole lot this season, Rick Carlisle knows exactly how to push the right buttons. 400 plus wins, 600 winning percentage, and you see his name there with some of the all-time greats. He's got a ring now as a player and a ring as an NBA head coach, one of only 11 people who can claim that, John.
Yeah, Dana, no doubt about it. And he was talking about the fact that in '86 he was able to be a part of a parade for the Boston Celtics. But Nancy, when you look at that graphic that we just saw, the other coaches who are on that list with those credentials, it's unbelievable. It's a who's who of coaches. And Rick Carlisle would have been sort of like the unlikely guy a year ago, 2 months ago, to be on that list.
But if you've known Rick Carlisle over time, you know that he's very understated. He's very calm. He's not seeking out any publicity. It's actually kind of hard to find photos of him smiling. But what I will say is that you don't get to go to UVA and not be intelligent. When he played on that Celtic team, you got to remember he was considered a shooter, a specialist on that championship team in '86. The greatest attribute, one of the great attributes that Rick has, is you must have this incredible relationship with your point guard. You must be one. He has become one with Jason Kidd, and Jason Kidd then communicates what has to happen on that court. But there has to be that single trust between coach and point guard.
And they did think and act and ultimately perform as one, and that coach on the floor had a chance to celebrate his first ever championship. We're celebrating it too, live from downtown Dallas after this. Mavs Live, the championship celebration presented by AT&T continues now from downtown Dallas, where there are so many celebrities, so many VIPs, including Ronald McDonald. McDonald, the Greater North Texas, congratulates the 2011 NBA champions, our Dallas Mavericks. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And there is Ronald. That's live, that's real. That's right now. That's Ronald McDonald among the thousands and thousands, the hundreds of thousands of people who are celebrating the Dallas Mavericks here in downtown Dallas. They're making their way to the American Airlines Center slowly but surely over the course of this 1 mile and 1/4 parade route. The entire route lined with thousands and thousands of fans. You see them hanging off of parking garage second stories. You see them hanging off of balconies throughout the course of the parade route. The W Hotel right across from us, every single balcony has fans all over it. What a great way to celebrate, and what a great vantage point for us and for them to see this thing, Nancy.
It really, we keep using the same adjectives. It's amazing, the energy, this celebration, but I think the fans are very much like the Mavericks. It's a class act. There were no riots, there were no problems. It was just people celebrating extraordinary effort and a championship in this city, and it's what we would expect it to be.
Yeah, we absolutely would, and we love to see this kind of enthusiasm and feel this kind of love. There is no animosity, no rancor. Everybody that we've encountered is in a tremendous mood, and why not? This is the kind of thing you should celebrate. This shouldn't make you angry or give you a right or a license to do negative things. Everybody here has been really positive today, all the fans we've encountered.
They've been positive not only here, but in the comments I've gotten from people around the country. A lot of people were pulling for the Dallas Mavericks because sometimes they were viewed as the good guys, the team. And really, that might not be that fair to Miami because they're not bad guys. But given the decision and some of the things that were said, the Mavericks kind of got fans worldwide because of how they handled themselves.
Yeah, the Miami Heat, in a way, have painted themselves as villains, and I guess we shouldn't fault them for sort of working within the system and making it work to their advantage. However, people didn't necessarily like the way that played out, and what people do like is that the face of this franchise is a guy named Dirk Nowitzki, who obviously doesn't seek any of that off-the-court spotlight. Dirk is humble and quiet and a real guy, perhaps as real a superstar as any of us have ever encountered.
You know, for so long, people knew Dirk of what he did on the basketball court, but they really didn't hear his voice that much in the locker room. He just let his actions kind of speak for itself. I really think a pivotal moment this year was when Rick Carlisle, and he has now acknowledged that he went to Mark Cuban and said, please, let the light stay on the players. I think people need to see and hear Dirk. And I really think the fact that Dirk's voice became who the Mavericks were was very important for him in this franchise.
Yeah, it's an understated voice, and it's a great voice, and it's the kind of voice that everybody in the league would certainly listen to, and it's a voice that has credibility in part because of things like this. Look at the numbers for Dirk Nowitzki. Players to average 25 points and 10 rebounds in NBA postseason history, and look at the names that Dirk Nowitzki is paired with in that graphic, Nancy.
Even if you're the most astute basketball fan, I don't think before you saw this graphic you would have put Dirk in that class, because he has done it quietly, effectively, in a winner's manner.
All right, well, we've got more on Dirk Nowitzki as we head back inside the American Airlines Center, where Dana and Emily are standing by.
Well, if there was a need to validate his career any further, Dirk Nowitzki obviously just did that with a Finals MVP and now a championship ring to go along with it. It is not only his voice and his work ethic, though. I almost could imagine Dirk in a gym last night shooting, can't you? I mean, the way he works, Emily, and we know this, his work ethic is unbelievable, and it's such an incredible example. But we also got to see him come into his own as a leader this year. He became more comfortable speaking out. He became more comfortable calling out his teammates, knowing how to motivate them after all these years with them. So we've really had a great chance to watch him evolve as a player and as a person.
And I think that for so many years, it was just that instant credibility that John talked about that he had. And when he walked into a locker room, everyone was immediately accountable because you were accountable to Dirk Nowitzki. And that's something that not a lot of players in this league have. And he doesn't have to speak a word to have that. But as you mentioned, he really did begin to take on that vocal leadership role this season. And it was so neat to see him to do that. And it was funny, and Rick Carlisle talking about how he is one of the greatest players of all time. And then you asked Dirk about it, and I did a couple of days ago, and he looked at me and said, "That's just weird. That's just weird for you to say that. That's just weird for him to say that. I can't even think about it. It's just too weird." And that's just the kind of guy that Dirk is.
It is down to earth as a superstar can be. That is certainly Dirk Nowitzki, but he is deserving all of the fun and all of the discussion of him being amongst the legends and the greats, and certainly in Dallas sports legendary here as well. His name is now up there with the likes of Troy Aikman and Mike Modano and Roger Staubach, you name it. Dirk Nowitzki is right there alongside with them as we send it back to John and Nancy.
Yeah, thank you very much. And there's Dirk right now with Jay Kidd still and Jet all on the same float. The original plan, Nancy, was to have each player have his own individual float, and I'll bet you the players changed that. They want to celebrate this with each other, with their teammates. This is something that's to be shared and savored.
So we're seeing once again that the players have a say in the destiny of the Mavericks. Hey, if you don't see Dirk on the float very long, he's probably going to the practice facility to work on his shot. I'm only kidding about that.
Right.
But let me tell you, the reason Dirk has evolved, he added stuff to his game. He added the off-the-bounce game. He started posting up. He started making himself a tougher guard than just the outside shot.
And he actually, in response to your point about him maybe heading to the gym right after this ceremony, said, you know what, I might not work quite as much. I wouldn't say not quite as hard, but maybe not quite as much this summer. I might take a little more time off, well-deserved for a guy who finally reached the mountaintop.
Well, as you get older, you have to be smarter about how you train, and it was last summer at my basketball camp, Jason Terry said to me, after every season, I call Dirk Nowitzki and I say, what do I have to do to get better? What do I have to add to my game? Here's a teammate asking a teammate, what can I do to make you better? What can I do to make me better? Because it will make our team better. Pretty cool stuff.
And the team doesn't get any better than what they have been this year. They are the champions. The Dallas Mavericks would like to thank Century 21 Mike Bowman Incorporated, the official real estate company of the Dallas Mavericks, for being a sponsor of the 2011 NBA Championship celebration. Visit c21bowman.com for all of your real estate needs. Genghis Grill for sponsoring the Mavs Dancers and Maniacs float in the 2011 NBA Championship celebration. Genghis Grill, the champions of Mongolian stir fry. And McDonald's for being a sponsor of the 2011 NBA Championship celebration. Enjoy any size soft drink or tea for only $1 at McDonald's. I'm loving it. Look at that crowd as it's gathered and as it finds any place it can to get a look, a glimpse at the likes of the Matrix, Sean Marion and J.J. Barea and all of the Dallas Mavericks, who are slowly now making their way to their destination on this day. Their destination is the American Airlines Center. That is a live shot of Victory Plaza, which has been full of people since 5:30 this morning. And on the back right of that plaza is our point, our place where we are broadcasting from. We're going to take you back inside the American Airlines Center now. One of the guys who was on a float, Skin, is standing by with our Dana Larson and Emily Jones.
Fresh off the float, John, that's right. Jeff Skin Wade here with us, of course, part of the Mavs broadcast, part of Ben and Skin, great talk show host, and we're so glad to have you here with us. What was it like to be on the float out there?
It was really amazing. I know that's the first thing everyone's going to say, oh, it was amazing. It was like all the other parades I've been in. The thing that made it extra special is right before we pulled off, Jet had a box of Victory cigars. And there's nothing finer than being in 100-degree heat smoking a cigar. It's a fantastic decision that I'll probably regret later, but this is once in a lifetime. We've waited 31 years for this, and big ups to the Dallas crowd. I mean, could you imagine a parade going any smoother than it did? It was just awesome.
There you are, as a matter of fact.
Wow, TV's very slimming for me.
It is. It doesn't even add 10 pounds like it's supposed to.
Unfair.
And I sweated down to my junior high weight at one point during that parade as well. But guys, it was just so much fun, and it was cool being up there. My favorite part, I think, was at some point there was a Coop, you know, Chuck Cooperstein, the voice of the Mavericks on the radio. People started chanting Coop in the middle of the parade. We had this big Coop chant going, so it was just great. Now, again, we've had an unbelievable ride with this team, but I'm just so proud of the city of Dallas right now for the way that they acted during this parade.
And you've been with this team for a long time. You used to do the post-game
Right.
shows, you and your boy Ben, and now a part of the Mavericks broadcast.
Yes.
I know this is kind of like a dream come true for you, and to see this come to fruition so quickly in your time has got to be really unbelievable.
Well, you know, you'd say my time. I just turned 40, so I was 9 when I first wanted the Mavericks to win a championship, and we waited 31 years for this, and it's just all worth it. It's funny they're re-showing, you know, this finals, but they're also re-showing the 2006 stuff. I can watch the 2006 stuff with zero pain. Like, this washes away any pain that any Maverick fan felt for the last 4 or 5 years with the things that didn't work out. It's all such a distant memory, and it was so cool to be able to look behind us. There you see footage of Cuban hoisting that bad boy. God, I bet he has not let go of that. But I love looking behind me and seeing Donnie Nelson and his family, because one of the reasons this is possible is because when Mark Cuban got here, everyone in media, all the fans, they wanted to run Don and Donnie out of here. Mark recognized what they had started. He stuck with them, and now here we are, and we've got a championship parade in downtown Dallas. Just awesome.
So neat to see Mark Cuban and his lovely wife Tiffany and his daughters all together. Certainly, can you imagine what they go through in a season of ups and downs, supporting Mark through all of this, what it's like for them at the games when they come home? And there's Rick Carlisle too, with his family. The families we don't actually get a lot of time to talk or think about, but you can see now they're getting to enjoy this as well.
No, I love that point, Dana, because, you know, last couple years we've gotten to know Rick's wife, and at one point in the season when things weren't going well, she was like, I just can't listen to you guys anymore. I just can't listen. It's just too negative. I'm like, no, it's going to be fine. It was really good to see her before we pulled off. I saw her about 20 yards away from me and pointed to her and got a big smile. And yes, the families, it's probably harder on them than it is the players and coaches.
Definitely, and his darling daughter Abby there in the middle, who is an absolute ham and the cutest thing ever. She is so cute. And I wanted to talk to you, Skin, about Mark Cuban. You know him very well, and it seems like he's mellowed in fatherhood. It's done good things for him.
I think you're right about that, because there is something special about it. And, you know, you guys, Dana, you've already got a child, and Emily, you've obviously got one coming. It really does change your perspective, but for a guy like Mark that has always been out there in front of everybody, now he kind of gets to celebrate all that with his kids and see it through the eyes of his kids. And you know, looking back and seeing Donnie on his convertible with his kids, and we just saw footage of Rick with his daughter. It just makes it all the more special, because they go through all this. Hey, I'm just a broadcaster. My wife goes through pain. You know what I'm saying? So this is like the birth of my third child I don't have. That's what this is like.
I want to know what you're going to do with the cigar. What is it going in the trash? Are you saving
There
it,
is
putting
no
it on
way
eBay?
this is going in the trash. I'm going to turn it into a commemorative necklace. How about that?
There you have it. Jeff Wade, we know him as Skin, one half of the Ben and Skin show and a great part of the Mavs broadcast. Thanks so much for joining us and giving your thoughts on being in the parade. John, let's send it back to you.
Dana, thank you very much. Emily, and of course, Skin, we appreciate you very much. You see, everybody's in one way or another celebrating with that victory cigar. It looks like a bunch of Red Auerbachs out here, Nance.
And he made it famous, right? He knew he was going to win, and Red Auerbach lit it up. But now I want to go back to what Skin said about Cuban. He really has mellowed, not his want, his will to win, just how he is perceived, because I think family does give you a sense of there's some priorities that are even more important than winning, and family kind of supersedes that, and it softened him, but not his will to win.
Stay connected to everything Mavs. Receive tweets from Mavs official Twitter page. Get connected to other Mavs fans on the Mavs official Facebook page and friends.mavs.com. Check out MavsWiki.com for all the Mavs history and facts that could be ever delivered and that you could ever need. Visit Mavs.com for a listing of the Mavs sites and sign up to receive email and text alerts to get up-to-date news and information on your favorite team. It's all right there at Mavs.com. Now we're going to take you right back into the American Airlines Center as Dirk Nowitzki makes his way to the AAC. We go back into Dana and Emily with the founder of the franchise, Mr. C, Donald Carter.
Well, and Johnny's got a smile about as big as the one you just saw there on Dirk Nowitzki's face. You are fresh off your float, straight in here to the air conditioning. Mr. C, first of all, congratulations. Just tell us how this has felt for you after all of these years and the hard work it took to get the team here and now to get to this point.
Well, I won't try to tell you how it's felt because I would need 3 or 4 days. And you know, when you try to think back 31 years, at my age, that's pulling some memory. And I know where it started. I know because of Linda Jo and a promise I made to her. And, you know, but when Mark had the commissioner hand me that trophy, I mean, I have not been able to find words that really described it. You know, I've said like the rapture and unbelievable. It just, that moment, that time, what that did. And I flashback, I had a million pictures flash back in my mind at that moment, all the way from when we signed a contract with the NBA for an expansion club, and O'Brien was the commissioner then. Now we're getting the O'Brien Trophy, and it just, you know, I'm going to go back and dig up a lot of history now just to refresh my mind because it was such an event.
Mr. Carter, when did you find out that that would take place, that Mark Cuban wanted you to hold that trophy before even he did?
With maybe less than 2 minutes to go in the game. And as we came down, and first thing Mark did when I met him, he said, I've talked to the commissioner, I'm going to present the trophy to you first. And it just, you know, you're in shock anyway. That the way the game ended in all of our games, this series, we didn't have a single game where anybody would turn TV off. Nobody. I mean, we every game, and so it was that way down in that game 6. As we came down the steps, and as he said that to me, and then the next few minutes, the game getting over and getting the platforms in on the ground and going up the steps. You know, walking up the steps, talk about an up feeling of going up. The steps could have been 4 miles. I'd have kept going.
Worth every moment and every memory. We're so happy for you and your family. Congratulations, and certainly try to take it in as much as you can and enjoy the rest of the day.
You know, it's history in the making that this team and the word team and how they did it as a team. Unbelievable, and it's Dallas has been my city all my life, and I can't give enough back to it. You know, I came here with nothing, and so everything I've got, I got what I was here, so I owe something back to it.
Well, Mr. Carter, you have definitely delivered for the city of Dallas with this Dallas Mavericks franchise, and we appreciate your time. We hope you enjoy the day. John, Nancy will send it back up to you.
All right, guys, thank you very much. And Mr. C, thank you. And how about the animated Dirk Nowitzki? There is nobody, Nancy, having more fun on this parade route than Dirk Nowitzki is. Doing the jet symbol, faking his follow-through on his jump shot.
Okay, I'm going to be Dr. Phil. Dirk suppressed a lot of his outer emotion for all of his time in the NBA, and now he is really getting a chance to enjoy this championship. But I want to go back to Donald Carter, because it doesn't matter how successful, how much money you have, sports and winning transcend so much emotion that you never thought you had. And it just, you could just see it in his face, how happy and how touched he was by the gesture of being a major part of this championship.
Yeah, what a run it was for Dirk Nowitzki, and what a celebration it has been for Mark Cuban and the rest of the Dallas Mavericks family, 250,000 strong. Lots more interviews coming up as they make their way to the AAC, and we celebrate a championship. Mavs Live, the championship celebration presented by AT&T continues now from downtown Dallas as the floats make their way to their destination of the American Airlines Center. It's John Radigan and Basketball Hall of Famer Nancy Lieberman here outside in Victory Plaza. Inside, we've got Nancy's boss, I guess, one of the co-owners of the Texas Legends, Donnie Nelson, standing by with our Emily and Dana.
Yeah, you could certainly call him boss. I think a lot of people around here would do that, and just really had a nice moment between you and Don Carter here, an emotional moment as he was trying to put into words what you have meant to this organization. This day's got to just be unbelievable, and sharing it with people like him.
Well, I don't even know where to start. First of all, Nancy, I can't promise that the D-League championship parade will be like that, but I'm numb. I mean, it started with Don Carter 31 years ago, and the vision that he brought forth, and all the great players, the Orlando Blackmans and Brad Davises, and you go on, Derek, and the guys that put forth all of that effort and energy to take it to the Western Conference Finals. And then in comes Dad, Nelly, Mark Cuban, and drafts this young German kid named Dirk, and then we go through our own trials and tribulations. It's kind of like phase 2. Then 2006, you know, we have the bottom fell out. I mean, all of our fans went through the ups and the downs and the all-arounds, and to be able to go back to the quote-unquote scene of the crime and make things right and win this for our fans that have been so incredibly patient and gracious and supportive through the years is an absolute dream come true.
And to do it with that German kid at the helm, who is now a grown man, and we've seen him come into his own, to see him stick with this team, make the sacrifices that he did, how fulfilling is that for you all who were such a big part of bringing him here?
Well, he's such a great human being, first of all. He's a better person than he is a player, if you can imagine that. And so, you know, to have him go through all of his, you know, valleys and trials and whatnot, and to see him come away with this award is incredible. But you go right down the list, you know, Jason Kidd, who is, you know, a quarterback like none in the history of the game. For him to start his career here under Don Carter, and for him to finish it with this kind of cherry on top of the cake, you just can't script something like that in Los Angeles if you're working for one of those big movie companies.
Well, certainly Dirk trusted in you and believed in you and Mark to put the players around him who would help get him to this point and move him into exclusive company, which, as you see here, he is certainly, along with now an MVP of the regular season, a finals MVP, 10 All-Star game appearances as well. You see the names that puts him alongside. You knew that when you saw that skinny little kid years and years ago, right? That he'd go on to do these things?
That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Good job.
It's true, Donnie, talk about just the way this team came together. I talked about it a little bit at the very beginning. The Marcin Gortat was supposed to be the big thing in the free agency period. That didn't work out. And then, Tyson Chandler, maybe he'll be a nice piece. He turned out to be the ultimate piece in this puzzle. And then the moves that you had to make when Karan went down, and just the adversity that this team faced, but the way that you all responded to it really led to the success in the end.
Everyone's had a piece in this, and Rick Carlisle has done an unbelievable job using all 15 guys over the course of the season. You got a guy, you know, like Brian Cardinal that doesn't see the light of day, and all of a sudden he's playing significant minutes in the championship series. But everyone on the bench had something to do with it. It starts with Dirk, and then you've got, you know, El Capitan, you know, Deuce #2, Jason Kidd, that's storybook. You know, Jet Terry, here's a guy that, you know, went through the same thing Dirk did, and Mark Cuban and myself and the entire fan base in 2006. And when you're in those kind of valleys and you're able to come back and redeem yourselves for your fans and give them this kind of award. It's just incredible.
Well, and Donnie, we understand you might have Jason Terry knocking on your door soon because he says he's going to get Dirk and he's going to come right into your office and talk about how to keep this team together. So you'll have to prepare for that meeting in a little bit, but I'm certain you will know how to handle
We're one step ahead of them.
I'm sure you are.
As usual.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to you, John. Back up to you.
All right, Dana, thank you. Emily and Donnie, thank you very much for all you have done to put this thing together. It's a great day, and we're celebrating all day long. We're going to be on Fox Sports Southwest until noon. Rangers baseball takes over against the Yankees at that point, and our coverage shifts to Fox Sports Plus and to KDFW Fox 4 in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. There's a rally that will be taking place inside the American Airlines Center, and most of the 250,000 people out here, and none of you will have a chance to go there because it's only for season ticket holders and VIPs. So we will definitely keep you apprised of all of that. We'll bring you every inch of that coverage from inside the AAC beginning at 12:30. For now, though, it's John Radigan and Nancy Lieberman outside the American Airlines Center in Victory Plaza. Let's talk about some of the things that Donnie Nelson said after we first go right back in to check in with one of the guys he talked about, Brian Cardinal, standing by with Dana and Emily.
Well, we are thrilled, John, to have Brian Cardinal here with us, fresh off the float. And first of all, we just got to ask you what that experience was like.
It was unbelievable. It just seemed like people just went forever. And I'm not sure how many people were out there, but it was a couple 100,000, 300,000-400,000. It was awesome, and they were all hooting and hollering, and just an unbelievable experience.
Brian, this team, everybody talking about this team is talking about just that, the fact that it was the true essence of a team, and that from top to bottom, everyone was prepared, everyone was ready. You were one of those guys. And what was that like for you to not know when you were going to be called on, and then when you were, to perform?
That's the beauty of being a professional. Just being ready whenever your number's called. Corey did a great job in LA. Peja was big for us. You just go on down the list. Everybody played huge, and it was awesome to get a chance to go out there and play and be in the finals and be able to mix it up and knock a couple of shots down and take a charge and just
a couple shots, a couple guys too, right? Who knew you were the enforcer?
Oh, they ran into me.
Well, and during a couple of our post-game shows, I kept saying Brian Cardinal's leaving more sweat on the court than anyone else out there because he is doing the dirty work, and we know that's what you have certainly put your hat on in your career for so long. How does it feel to know Rick Carlisle was asked about some of his fondest memories of this season, and you were one of the first people he brought up, just saying, my memories of Brian Cardinal and his readiness and his effort were one of the first things that came to his mind.
Oh, that's unbelievable that he would say that. This whole season, everybody within the organization, the guys on the team, everybody was focused, was dialed in, was excited for the year, and collectively we came together and we told ourselves early on that we wanted to be a team to be remembered forever. We wanted to be bonded for life, and that's what it is. We're 2011 world champs.
Brian, what do you say about Dirk?
Dirk, he's a piece of work. He's obviously everybody sees how great of a basketball player he is, but he's an even better person. And to see him hanging around with my kids, cuddling with my daughter, some of the jokes. The guy's just an all-around great guy, and he's the best.
For you personally, have you had a chance at all to step back and think about this season in your career? You sign on as a free agent, and then obviously play such a big role getting this team to a title. At this point in your career, just how it unfolded. Did you ever imagine when you signed that deal back in September or whenever it was?
When I signed here in September, I was just trying to, I think I might have signed on a Monday and I was just trying to make it to Tuesday. And, just the personal hurdles with being on a non-guaranteed contract and just trying to survive, and then going home for a couple days for the birth of my daughter, and then coming back and not seeing my family for 6 weeks. It's a fantastic year. It's one that we're all going to look back on and just shake our heads and just eventually it'll all sink in, and you know, a bunch of guys and I got together the other day, and we were watching some of the game, and it's amazing because when you're sitting there on the bench, you know, you're so stressed and nervous, and you're trying to you know see what's going on out there on the court, and you just see kind of a small snippet of what's actually going on. But then whenever you're able to remove yourself from the game and watch it on TV and watch the replays and hear the announcers, and I mean it's history. It's mind-boggling.
It is, and you are a part of it. Congratulations, Brian Cardinal. It's been a great ride. Enjoy the rest of it.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
John, Nancy will send it back up to you.
Wow, that's great. I just love hearing it. He got here on a Monday. He hoped to make it until Tuesday. All of a sudden, here we are on a Thursday, several months later. But what a journey for a guy like him who didn't even know if he'd be around for the end of training camp, much less a championship celebration.
You know, what really impressed me about Brian, and not only him but his teammates, is after they lost Game 3 on Monday, they did an NBA Cares a Parents, and I was there, and they dedicated a Learn and Play station to a high school in Dallas, an elementary school in Dallas, and Jet Terry and all the Maverick, you know, Tredema, a lot of the players were there, and I was so surprised that the next morning that Rick Carlisle and his guys were there in force. They're like Brian Cardinal. They just care enough to be there when asked. And I'd like to say one thing about Donnie Nelson. You never really know anybody until you work shoulder to shoulder with them. Donnie Nelson is better than advertised. He is the most humble and loyal guy I think I've met. And hard worker. This man works tirelessly through deep into the night. There's a reason that the players and Mark Cuban respond to him. He's really a silent but a great leader.
Unbelievable stuff here from the American Airlines Center, from Victory Plaza, and from the streets of Dallas today. The Dallas Mavericks are the 2011 NBA champions. We're celebrating with them, and we've got much more coverage coming. We'll hear from some of those men. The celebration and the rally continues on Fox. Mavs Live championship celebration continues from the American Airlines Center, and what a scene. Let's listen in to Mark Cuban.
We just want to come out here and say thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you. The season was special, but you guys made it amazing. City of Dallas, baby! 31 years, 31 years, Dallas been waiting for the Mavericks to bring home the trophy, baby! We got the best fans in the world. We got the greatest owner in the history of the game. We got the MVP, Dirk Nowitzki. MVP, 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 MVP. Okay, at the request of our MVP, we're going to ask that you all join with us in singing our new favorite song. He's going to lead us in our new favorite song. Thank you, Mavs fans! Take that with you! All right, we're gonna sing "We Are the Champions." Are we ready? Let's go. How's it go? 1, 2, 3. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world. Thank you.
Okay, guys, we gotta go in. Thank you, everybody. Can't wait. We gotta know it. We gotta go for it, guys. Let's go, band.
You know the song?
Of the world. Thank you, Dallas.
Thank you, Mavericks, for making us so happy.
What a scene. What an unbelievable scene with the joy and the fun that those guys are having right behind us here from our vantage point in Victory Plaza. Dirk Nowitzki, Mark Cuban, and the rest of the Dallas Mavericks celebrating with a song befitting of champions. Yeah, we've heard that song played for many champions over the years, but it gave me chills to hear them singing it on the balcony of the American Airlines Center.
If that isn't humility to get up on that balcony and sing that with all of these fans, that's a magical moment in sports because it takes guts to do that. And that just shows how uninhibited Dirk and his teammates are right now.
He has the full joy of being a champion, and he's still up there with all of his teammates. It's a wonderful scene at the American Airlines Center. We're proud and happy to be able to bring it to you. Look at the thousands of people who are gathered in Victory Plaza, and there are thousands and thousands more just on the outskirts of Victory Plaza. All of the people who left the parade route have made their way to the American Airlines Center. They have gathered too. They are all here watching a scene that you hope could someday be repeated, and yet somehow I'm not sure that unbridled joy that we're seeing from these guys, the weight of all the years of expectations is officially lifted, and that's part of the reason this celebration is so sweet, Nancy.
I'm so taken aback that we are seeing a whole entirely different Dirk Nowitzki. We knew him as someone who was focused, who worked hard, who was a great teammate, but we never did see this emotion ever. And this is cool. That's a little boy who's really happy he won.
A little boy all grown up, and he gets to celebrate a championship, and he's doing it in style and with his teammates. Back inside the American Airlines Center now, Emily standing by with the voice of the Mavericks, our buddy Mark Followell.
Well, the party just about to get started here inside the American Airlines Center. You saw him on the float. He will be emceeing this rally here today. And Mark,
I will, yes.
You will be. How excited are you?
Oh, I'm excited. Did you see me on the float out there. I've got to get my I got to get my voice back for 12:30. So, you know, sometimes you get me in front of a crowd of people, I just, you know, another person comes out. It's really weird.
That's what we love about you, though.
Well, hey, you know what, Emily? It was a great time out there. I was blown away by what the reception was along the parade route, how many people there were stacked up 10 and 12 deep in some places. I mean, it was everything I dreamed it would be and more, because I just knew it was going to mean so much to Maverick fans in this city if the Mavericks could get over the hump and win a championship. And, you know, everybody's just having such a great time with this. We've waited a long time in this city for a pro sports championship and for it to be a Maverick championship, and everybody is just as excited as they can possibly be, and I love every second of it.
You've been with this team game in, game out, year in, year out. This is such a deserving group.
No question it is, and that's what's so great about it is that, look, in the world we all like to see good things happen to good people, and these are a bunch of guys who put in hard work and a lot of time. And, you know, they do everything right. They do, you know, Larry Brown coined the phrase a few years ago about playing the right way. And not only do these guys play the game the right way, but they carry themselves the right way. The countless hours of work that's put away off the basketball court, in the weight room, doing the cardio, when the cameras aren't around, the time spent doing the community service. That's what just makes this thing so rewarding, is it's a group of guys who came together, pulled on the rope together, and they got the reward.
And is there any better superstar around than Dirk Nowitzki?
Well, you know, look, we're talking work ethic, we're talking class, we're talking heart, we're talking respect for people, respect for the game, humility, a sense of humor. All things, by the way, that I'm saying when we introduce him during the big event coming up at 12:30. Yeah, a little preview, but look, that's why we wanted to see him win a championship. You know, the shots he's made, the points he's scored as a Maverick over the years have all been great. But why we wanted to see the fairy tale end the right way is because he stayed here in Dallas. He's given everything to the franchise. He's a fantastic representative of what pro sports should be. We're very, very lucky to have him here. And like I said, the fairy tale end of the way that everybody wanted it to.
Well, you've got a party to host, so I'll let you go. Make sure you've got all your notes in order.
All right. Well, thank you, Emily. I appreciate it. It's going to be a great time. You guys did such a great job on Fox Sports Southwest this year, by the way. Love working with you guys, and the coverage that we get to do before, during, and after the games is fantastic.
Mark, the feeling is mutual. Congratulations, bud. Happy for
Yay,
you.
Emily.
Yay, us. John, Nancy, will send it back out to you.
All right, very good. Thank you, Emily. And yeah, we see maybe a different side of Mark Followell with some of the unbridled joy that the voice of the Mavericks is feeling today, too. And what a celebration it has already been. It continues well into the afternoon. And take a look at this, 50-win seasons. There aren't very many teams who have done it in more consecutive years than the Dallas Mavericks have. In fact, only the San Antonio Spurs and the LA Lakers, Nancy.
And the thing that strikes me about the 11 consecutive seasons, that was with 3 different coaches, which says not only can they do it with one guy's system, they can do it collectively because the organization had a plan and they stuck to the plan.
And the plan has worked to perfection, evidenced by the fact that we are here today celebrating a championship. You want to learn to play like the pros? Sign up tonight for Dallas Mavericks Summer Hoop Camps presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Camps are open to boys and girls of all skill levels from ages 8 to 18. Call 214-747-MAVS or visit Mavs.com to register. Mavs Hoop Camp, where kids always win. The parade is over, but the celebration continues. We look back at a wonderful parade through the streets of Dallas and bring you lots more coverage from the American Airlines Center as we celebrate a championship with the Dallas Mavericks. Mavs Live, the championship celebration presented by AT&T continues with thousands and thousands celebrating the 2011 NBA champions. How did they get here, you ask? Well, with more on that, we go back inside the American Airlines Center where Emily Jones is standing by.
Well, John, as you well know, every season ends with exit interviews, despite the way the season ends, whether it's winning or losing, whether it's in the regular season or the playoffs. Well, for the last 10, 11 years, they've ended with a playoff run, but it hasn't been a happy ending for the Dallas Mavericks. Of course, all that changed this year, and 2 days ago, they held their exit interviews, and did they have a different tone than years past?
It is.
The game is over. The series is over. The Mavericks have scaled the NBA playoff mountain and have planted their flag. They are the NBA champions for 2010-2011.
The biggest question for the Dallas Mavericks in the days after their first ever NBA championship, has it set in yet?
Not really. I think it's going to take a few weeks to really sink in, and I'm trying to enjoy every minute of it. Obviously, the celebrations afterwards, and the trophy, and us going to the club with Cuban. That was a mess. And yesterday, and when the fans stood at the airport, which was amazing. So yeah, just trying to enjoy every minute of this run that we had.
Champs, baby. There's not much you can say to the champs. You know, I went through my whole career going through exit meetings. And this is what we got to work on. This is what we got to work on to get better, and this and that. Now we just got to talk about defending it.
It's not just the fact that the Mavericks came away with the game's ultimate prize. It's the way in which this team, comprised of one superstar, a handful of veterans who had fallen short in the past, and a cast of role players who seemed to fit perfectly together, went about it.
This was a true team in every sense. This is a component-oriented team in terms of how it was put together, and it's a strength in numbers team, and we always ask guys to be ready. And because at a moment's notice, you know, you just never know. An injury here, you know, fouls there, something else that could happen, and guys had to be ready.
Team effort, everybody was good. Number one to Dominic Jones, the rookie, everybody was awesome. The locker room was great all year. And no matter if you're starting or if you're not playing for a week, people were staying ready. And we showed it. We showed in the last game how people were staying ready, and it's a team effort to beat all those guys that we beat. So it's awesome.
You know, at the end of the day, man, this is what we, you know, are saying, putting time and effort in, and look, also with the situation there, you want to be a part of something. It's amazing, and I don't care. Yeah, whatever you gotta do to help yourself and your team get to where you want to be and accomplish. That's what it's about.
There's a big difference between success and fulfillment. These guys have had incredible success in the league. I mean, you go right down the list of guys, Dirk, Jet, Kidd, Marion, Stojakovic, Chandler, you know, all these guys. But the thing that's eluded them and myself, you know, as in the coaching side of it, has been the fulfillment of achieving the ultimate dream.
Individual stuff gets old. All you play for is the team goal, and to be on the best team in the world that one particular season. So, and we pulled it off this season with a bunch of veterans that all have a unique story in a way. You know, with me and Jet being here in '06, and Peja always falling to the Lakers, and Kidd being to the finals twice, and it's just a bunch of savvy veterans that been through the grind in this league, and ultimately to make it now to the top makes it even sweeter.
And so does the fact that Dirk and Jason Terry were able to bring their championship story full circle, from the collapse in 2006 to the triumph in 2011. And the cherry on top for the guy who's never afraid to talk the talk, walking the walk on the biggest stage.
Just reconfirms my confidence in my teammates and in myself. I believe from day one that this team could get it done, and I wasn't doing anything other than stating the truth. You know, those were true facts I was stating, and that's what gave me the confidence.
And when you got that tattoo before the season?
I knew then. You know, everybody looked at me as if I was crazy, but I believed.
Now there's just that little matter of their reward. Mark Cuban has said rings are a little old school, and he's looking to take things to the next level. But that idea is being met with some resistance.
It's got to be rings. I mean, I don't know what he's thinking, but you got to, if you can win an NBA championship, you got to have a ring. Now, if he wants to give guys something else besides a ring, that's great. But if you're asking my opinion, I'll give it to you.
He get me nervous. He be doing he be doing this type of stuff. No, but as a player, you want a ring. You want to keep it the same way. So
we'll see what happens. But he knows, I think he got to give us a ring. And then maybe if he wants to do something special, then he got to give us the other thing too, though. Yeah.
We got to talk to him about that. I don't think the last word has been spoken yet. I mean, you know, he's always wants to do something different, wants to do something bigger. But, I mean, the ring is just so classic.
And in true Mark Cuban fashion, he is not tipping his hand, not saying what he has planned, but you can bet that he will make the players happy regardless of what it is. John, Nancy, back out to you guys.
Emily, great recap. Thank you very much. And yeah, look, Nance, I think what will happen here is Mark Cuban will, because he said he's going to consult the leaders of the team. He's going to consult Coach Carlisle, find out what they want. They're going to say they want a ring. So my guess is Cuban will give them a ring and then some golden suit or golden shoes, or who knows what he'll come up with.
Yeah, they might have a little bit of a bonus championship present from Mark Cuban this year because they want the traditional championship rings. That's what everybody plays for, unless you're in the World Series of Poker and you're trying to get the bracelet. But I think the guys all want that. Mark will do something special for them, but this is pretty cool. I never knew the Mavericks were so funny. It is amazing what being on David Letterman's top 10 and then having exit exams or meetings can do to a team's spirit and comedic skills.
Exit interviews are so much different when you are exiting as champions, as the Mavericks were when they conducted those the other day. Hey, when we come back, we'll hear from the Mavericks team president. Jardima Ussery joins us from the American Airlines Center next on Fox. Mavs Live, the championship celebration presented by AT&T continues now inside that building, the American Airlines Center, where Dana Larson is standing by with Jardima Ussery. Dana?
Yes, we are here with the president and CEO of the team. He's got a giant smile on his face, and you certainly deserve to have one on this historic day.
Thank you.
One that I know is awfully exciting, but one that's really busy for you as well, as you've got your hands in a lot of the logistics of the planning of the parade and the rally, don't you?
Yeah, it's been basically a sleepless week. We were in Miami, and we landed. I was on a friend's jet. We landed about 10 minutes before the players on Monday, and really haven't slept since. We wanted this to be a great celebration for our fans who've been just so amazing to us and just blew away the Miami fans. And so we wanted to make sure we had a really great parade and an event inside the AAC, so it's worth it.
Just even seeing the small amount of Mavs fans, which was actually a great amount that went out to Miami, you knew today's turnout was going to be unbelievable. Are you overwhelmed, though, just finally seeing it in person?
Yeah, I got a call from our operations guy at 5 o'clock this morning saying it was already just full down here, which I couldn't believe. And his voice was shaking because he was standing out in the middle of the crowd. And he said, where are we supposed to put all these people? So, but you know what? We had, I don't know, 1,000 people in Miami maybe. They shouted down the Miami fans. Our fans have been great. They're rabid. They're crazy. You know, look, Dwayne Wayne said it. It's a very difficult building to play in, our building, and that's because of our fans. And so they took all that energy, they put it on the street in downtown Dallas today, and it was insane.
Well, one of the biggest Mavericks fans was also in the car with you during the parade, and people know this man very well. I believe we have seen him in a movie or two singing here or there. Tell us about being there with Jamie Foxx during the parade.
Jamie's crazy. He literally called up yesterday and said, look, I'm going to fly all night to get to Dallas at 6 o'clock in the morning. He didn't even ask me in the parade. He said, can I just come and get a good seat or be behind a barricade or something? I said, man, look, if you're willing to get on a plane, fly all night, and come here to be with us, come on, jump in the car with me and enjoy the celebration. And he was blown away. He was absolutely blown away by it. So, look, you know, he's in L.A., he talks about how the people out there are always teasing about the Mavericks, not anymore. So he wanted to come out and celebrate with us. He's a huge fan, and we're happy he was here.
Well, and we've talked about how this has become America's team over the last couple of weeks. So many people from outside of Texas have supported this team, and you've seen him on David Letterman's top 10. You know, there are great moments that have been happening. How has that felt for the Mavericks to really be at the top of this national awareness?
It's been interesting. You know, we, for whatever reason, and we can speculate on that, just captured the imagination of the nation when we went up against LeBron and his crew. And we've gotten emails and text messages and requests for merchandise literally from all around the world. And here in the States, from coast to coast, people have said, you know what, we don't care if it's, you know, 4-3, you know, 4-2, whatever, just beat them. Just beat them. You know, you are America's team now in the NBA. Take those guys down. So it was really humbling, to be honest with you, to be getting requests from LA and Chicago and New York. There were even cities in Florida, quite frankly, to be real honest with you, that were also telling us they supported us. So it's just been an amazing run for us, a special year.
Well, and you can give us a nice preview, too, of what's coming up. We know people, our viewers, are hanging on to every word so far to get to the rally that's coming up as well. Can you give us an idea of what's going to happen inside the bowl there?
Yeah, the rally's going to be insane. It's a recap, first of all, a lot of really emotional videos, a recap of the season, and then a recap of the playoff run that we had. We're going to show the fourth quarter of the final game in Miami, and then we're going to have Mark and the players come out, and they're going to give speeches. And it's going to be a very emotional, I think, for a lot of guys, hour and 15 minutes.
Well, I know I've had goosebumps already several times today. I expect you and the players and the coaches and the viewers are going to do the same throughout the rally. So we're excited to bring that to you in just a little bit. Congratulations, Trudemia.
Thank you so much.
You have been a huge part, obviously, of this thing and deserve to enjoy it now.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Let's send it back to John.
Dana, thank you very much. Trudemia, to you, too. He's another guy who, he's behind the scenes, Nancy, but he does so much work. Any organization, any chain is only as strong as its weakest link, and he's a pretty strong link.
It's funny. I look at Trudemia differently because I've been friends with him since, like I said, the early 90s. I see him sitting in the little corridor where the players go to the locker room, nervously standing there every game. He hardly ever sits down. He looks relaxed now.
All right, let's take you right back into the American Airlines Center now. His car partner during the parade, Jamie Foxx, standing by with Emily.
You saw him during the parade, Jamie Foxx with Trudemia Ussery. Jamie, just talk about being a part of this celebration.
Listen, I'm just a huge fan. I ran into Rolando Blackman. I came to the Reunion Arena back in the day, Rolando Blackman, Brad Davis. And at that time, it seemed so distant, like the Mavericks would never win, I never turned over and became a Laker fan, even though I lived in LA. And I remember talking to Kobe, and we would go back and forth, and he'd talk about my team, in a fun way. But this right here is the defining moment. Mark Cuban, shout out to him. I think front offices win championships. He paid the right money, got the right people together, and he made people feel good about being a basketball fan in Dallas. Jason Terry played out of his mind. Jason Kidd, who's just an absolute veteran, and you root for him. But at the end of the day, Dirk Nowitzki really got everybody off his back and let everybody know that he's going to go down in history as being probably one of the greatest players to ever play the game. And is just so happy to be from Terrell, Texas.
I just was about to say, Terrell, Texas native, to see your hometown team bring it home.
It's amazing. And for me, when I was watching this game, in my house was a lot of Heat fans, and I'm friends with Chris Bosh and all them, but it was just the right time. It was our time, and I think people should do this. Sort of stop talking about how bad everybody else played and talk about how great the Dallas Mavericks played. It was amazing.
Okay, now I've got to get your superstar opinion. First question, if this were to be made into a movie this season, who would play Rick Carlisle?
Who would play Rick Carlisle? Jim Carrey.
Okay, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, Jim Carrey.
What about Dirk Nowitzki?
Who would play Dirk Nowitzki? Brad Pitt.
Oh, he's going to love you. And who would you play?
Oh, man. I would have to play JT, Jason Terry. Yeah.
Jamie Foxx, up top, bud. Great stuff. Thanks for the time. We appreciate it. We'll send it back out to you guys.
Emily, thank you very much. What great star power we have here at the American Airlines Center today. We're celebrating the Mavericks. They're champions of the NBA. Lots more continuing from the American Airlines Center next. Mavs Live, the championship celebration presented by AT&T continuing now, and our coverage continues at noon on KDFW Fox 4 in the DFW area and on Fox Sports Southwest Plus if you're not in the DFW area. And if you can't get Fox 4, coming up on Fox Sports Southwest, it's going to be the Rangers and the New York Yankees as the Rangers try to salvage a game in the 3-game series in the Bronx. That will come your way at noon on Fox Sports, but make sure you switch over to get continuing coverage of the celebration, which will continue until at least 1:30 today. John Radigan here with Basketball Hall of Famer Nancy Lieberman. At noon, we'll be joined on Fox 4, KDFW in the Dallas area, and on Fox Sports Southwest Plus by Mike Ducey our good friend from Fox 4. But for now, we have to reflect on what I think might have been the best parade that Dallas has ever had. They've had, that I know of, 3 that I've been a part of, 3 for the Cowboys, 1 for the Stars. This was awesome, Nancy.
It was absolutely phenomenal. It was organized. There was cooperative spirit with all the law enforcement agencies, the Mavericks and the city. No problems, no drama, and just a pure celebration. And now we get a chance to go into the air-conditioned portion of our program. And I know we're going to be a lot happier with that, but this has been phenomenal. They're going to use this as the measuring stick for celebrations to come for more championships in the city.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing that you can build a blueprint from, and I love seeing Jamie Foxx. Great to have Emily chatting with him. Look, we see all the stars that go to Knicks games and Lakers games. It's fun to know that there's a superstar like Jamie Foxx, and there are others, but Jamie just here today that love the Dallas Mavericks.
Well, I liked Jamie Foxx before, and now I have a deeper appreciation because, you know, he's that old school guy that just attached himself to the Mavericks because he liked everything about them, and now he's one of us.
Rangers baseball is coming your way next on Fox Sports Southwest, but the celebration of the Dallas Mavericks continues on Fox Sports Southwest Plus and on KDFW Fox 4 in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Mark Cuban and the rest of the Mavericks are inside the American Airlines Center. There is so much more as we continue to cover the Mavericks, the 2011 NBA champions.
Are we ready?
They are champions of the world. We're ready, Dirk, for the celebration inside. Switch over to KDFW Fox 4 or Fox Sports Southwest Plus to watch continuing coverage of the champions. And welcome back to Mavs Live, the championship celebration presented by AT&T. Those of you expecting to see the noon news on KDFW Fox 4 in Dallas, we have a very special treat for you. We will spend the entire half hour celebrating your 2011 NBA champions, the Dallas Mavericks. Hi there in Victory Plaza. I'm John Radigan with Basketball Hall of Famer and the coach of the D-League team for the Mavericks, the Legends. We have Nancy Lieberman here and from Fox 4, Mike Ducey. And Mike, what are your thoughts of the parade that we've already seen that for many of these fans began before it was even light out?
Well, it's great to be here with a Hall of Famer and with a guy who's covered even more of these in this town than I have. It's been a great day already. As you said, people are out bright and early, and I heard you talking about it before. It's been pitch perfect so far, the way that the crowd has behaved, and I think the way that the team has interacted with the crowd and been able to along the parade route. The old school nature of having Mr. Carter there enjoying the day, right to the end where the players came out on that balcony and rewarded these loyal fans who were just hoping to catch a glimpse of them. That was really special, I thought.
It's been an awesome day, and it continues now. We'll take you inside the American Airlines Center where Dana Larson is standing by with Tyson Chandler. Dana.
I'm so excited to be here with Tyson and to finally congratulate you in person. This has been an unbelievable run. 31 years it takes for the franchise. In your first season, they needed to sign you sooner.
Yeah, you know, it was a special season. You know, it's been unbelievable. The fans have been unbelievable. It's definitely memorable. We're going to enjoy this, you know, all the way until next year.
Well, we talked about earlier in the year how this was just a perfect marriage. It seemed like at the time you needed this team, the team needed you, and obviously now more than ever we're realizing just how perfect it was.
Definitely so. You know, coming into training camp, I knew this would be a special year, but you know, I knew we had the potential to be champions, but I knew it would be a long road, and to accomplish that goal now, it just feels really special.
How does it feel too to hear like your coach Rick Carlisle say, signing Tyson Chandler changed everything for us?
You know, it's unbelievable. You know, to hear that from the coach, to hear that from peers. You know, I really take it to heart. You know, I appreciate everything. You know, it's just I'm all about team. So, you know,
I have to give them the credit, even though, you know, people are pointing fingers, you know, towards me. But it definitely was a team effort this year.
Well, and this is a first for everybody basically on this team, but each person had such a journey that they went through to get to this point. And you look back at your career, 10 years in the league, #2 overall pick, we could say from the farm to the top of the world now. You came back and obviously started out on a farm many, many years ago playing basketball through a hoop hanging off the tree, right? Now to get to this point must feel amazing.
It feels absolutely amazing. You know, I look back to, you know, growing up playing, you know, on the farm, playing recreation. You know, when it was about 28 seconds left and I figured we had to win, I just got overwhelmed with emotion. I started to think back through my entire career. And, you know, it just was a blur, and it was so emotional for me. I'm still trying to get over it that, you know, I can't believe that I'm an NBA champion.
You are all about family, of course, with the team and also your own personal family. And when we saw you today during the parade on the float with your family, your wife and your adorable kids, just take us through what's going through your mind right there.
Right there, I'm just thinking, man, my little boy is going to be able to see this for the rest of his life, you know. The story is going to get better and better every time I tell it as an old man, but to be able to share this with my son, my daughter, my wife, you know, it's just an enjoyable experience.
Well, congratulations. We're so thrilled for you and certainly hope that you will be back and be a big part of this organization again soon.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Tyson, congratulations. Thanks for your time. Let's send it over to Emily now.
Well, Dana here with Jason the Jet Terry. He's got pen and cigar in hand. They're signing championship basketballs right now. And Jason, I understand we're going to have to be short with this interview because someone's lost their voice.
The voice is gone. Done.
What could this be from?
From all the praying, from all the yelling, the crying, everything. But when I went out there on that float and seen all those fans, it just almost brought tears to my eyes because I know how long they've been waiting. And we finally delivered.
And we can see you right now, we're watching you on the float, and we see the joy that you are exuding. Can it even match anything you ever dreamed of?
Never, never. Today I wore my NCAA championship ring, and I just wanted to kind of live in the moment, but nothing compares to this. This is the ultimate.
You knew that this was going to happen because you got that tattoo right there of the Larry O'Brien Trophy before this season began.
You know what? Everybody thought I was crazy, but I just believed. You know, I believed in my teammates. I knew with the team that we had this year that we were going to be destined to do something great, and we did.
And Jason, with what you guys went through in 06, the bond that you and Dirk now share, Coach Carlisle talked about the bond that this team shares, but the bond that you two share is pretty special.
I told Dirk, move over, neighbor. I'm coming to the neighborhood. But we've been together for 7 years, you know, and the disappointments and everything that we've been through to this point, it's unbelievable. So this makes everything worth it. I mean, this is what you practice for. This is what you put in those extra hours for. And
All right, Emily, thank you very much. And not only did Jason lose his voice, but we lost a little audio on the microphone. We'll get that corrected and be back with Emily and back with Dana in just a couple of minutes. I want to give Mike and Nancy a chance to respond. And I know, Nancy, first you wanted to say some things about Tyson Chandler's interview with Dana.
Well, perhaps history of the NBA champions could be different if it wasn't for a doctor in Oklahoma City. I can remember when that trade was supposed to go down from New Orleans to Oklahoma City. I was interviewing Tyson Chandler, and he said to me, my foot is fine, but the doctor won't approve the trade. He subsequently went back to New Orleans. We ended up getting Tyson Chandler, and a championship team in Dallas was born with defense.
Yeah, the foot looks pretty good, doesn't it, right now? And Mike, you referenced how we've had the chance to cover so many of these things. 3 for the Cowboys, 1 for the Stars. I've covered some in Detroit before that. I don't know that there's a better guy than Jason Terry. In all the guys that we've covered, boy, he is really fun to be around.
A great personality, and if he wants to, he's going to make a good living in our business when he's finished playing basketball. There's a reason why he lost his voice, and that is because Jason Terry loves to talk, and everybody knows that. He backed up the talk in the finals. But I think it's interesting, guys, that we heard from Chandler and Jet because they both set an emotional tone for this team in their own way. You know, Tyson Chandler with that defensive presence, kind of a menacing interior presence. He was willing to say during the finals that, hey, this isn't just another game. This isn't one game at a time. This is everything. And then Jet, as we said, willing to talk a little trash from time to time, and as it turns out, able to back it up. Both emotional leaders, I think, in their own way.
It's Mavs Live, the championship celebration presented by AT&T. We're on Fox Sports Southwest Plus and on KDFW Fox 4 in Dallas. The celebration continues inside the American Airlines Center all the way until 1:30. We'll be here for every minute of it. Stay with us, more coming.